Hello, all. Welcome back to the TBZNMA Wonderful Podcast, Gosick Edition, episodes 4 through 8. I'm joined by a euphoric TBZ and TBZ. Do you have anything to say before we get started?
Um, let's just dive right into it.
Took the words out
I'm
of my mouth.
eager to talk about this show.
All right. Well, I guess there's no better place to start than episode 4, the first episode within this chunk. And how'd you feel about it? How are you feeling overall about the show? I'll say first.
Overall in the show, we're going in a good direction.
I
I
agree.
like it.
Yeah.
Not a thing I didn't like. I mean, our first little mini mystery held right after where we left off last episode. It was alright. Then really picks up to where we're at now, which was episode 8, correct?
Yes. I somewhat agree. I think the mini mystery at the beginning of episode 4 was, it was cute. There was essentially our main character Cujo was effectively framed for the death of like a motorcyclist who was decapitated right in front of his eyes, and Cujo was actually briefly detained by Swordbert. I thought that was
Swordbird.
interesting. And then, Victory solves it like they always do. And I feel like that mystery was fairly unremarkable on its own. But I really liked how the next mystery, which was at the schoolhouse, the dead body that was in the crematorium or whatever that was. And I liked how they tied the previous mystery into the current mystery. And it was like,
Yeah.
I thought
They
that was
always
pretty
be
cool.
doing that.
I thought that was well done, and it was pretty satisfying. Victorique had a line in this stretch of episodes, I'm not sure which one, where she was talking about sweets as she does, and she remarked that one of the sweets looks like a little dog poo. Isn't it cute? And I thought that
The
was pretty
sweet
awesome.
did look like a dog poo. I actually thought to myself that looks like dog poo before she mentioned that it looked like dog poo.
Really?
Yep.
Damn, impressive. Hey, it looks like a little dog poo. Yeah, that was like a highlight. I think I lolled. I laughed out loud there. So
I think I
appreciate
laughed that loud at the dog poo.
Like,
One part I certainly laughed at loud was when our protagonist Cujo licked the shit out of her forehead.
oh,
Like what the hell?
that was a pivotal moment in the plot too. Weird.
That really, yeah, weird enough. It really was. It really caught me off guard.
Like, I don't honestly. It was. If we're being real, I think it was a slightly lazy way of like getting Victorique to be mad at Cujo, but I kind of give it a pass because it's comedic. Like he just randomly flicks her in the forehead for no reason. Definitely very funny, but I mean, like it's kind of a little bit lazy, wouldn't you say?
I guess. Yeah, actually, kind of is.
Kind of came out of nowhere. Just to,
But I think it also just matches the comedic tone this show has
yeah,
at
definitely.
times.
I mean, before this stretch of episodes, I didn't really have it in my mind that Victorique was like a sweets gal, and she was super into sweets. But she can eat some sweets, man. It is played up to a comical degree, and they're just being more jokey with it, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate it being as jokey as possible.
The jokey times are definitely jokey, but when it's time to lock in, does this show ever lock in?
Absolutely locks in. Oh man, there's so much to talk about, but I do want to try to take it a little bit chronologically.
The fourth episode, we get introduced to the
Avril.
first mystery,
Oh yes.
Avril, too. The dead body coming out of the mausoleum, was it?
It was the motorcyclist, and then the next episode was the mausoleum. That was
Oh yeah, the motorcyclist. Actually, kind of forgot about that.
Cujo got framed and Swordbert detained him. And I was like,
Extremely ticked off!
but don't worry, it all worked out in the end, guys. But yeah, that was like I said. I found that first mystery to be like decently unremarkable. It keeps reinforcing this dude Cujo has reverse yellow fever. He's a bit of a fiend. Like he's really into the white women. I just thought I'd mention that.
The whole plot. Oh yeah, the whole plot. Not the whole plot. Sorry, the whole reason she solved that mystery was because Cujo remembered that he was thinking about beautiful white blonde woman
Yeah.
on his walk, and she's like, "Well, you were thinking it, so you kind of manifested it." Which I mean, that's the each mystery we get. I'll give it one huge stretch that I won't believe,
Yeah.
and that was one of them. I'll let that one slide.
Yeah, that one was a little silly how she just said it with like utter confidence. It was a blonde woman because you were thinking about blonde women. Of course that's something she would take notice of too, cuz she won't
Being a
say it.
blonde woman herself.
Yeah. Yeah. You know she's concerned with that.
Ho, ho, ho.
And then we move on to the mausoleum episode. I don't really totally remember like the details of her rationale as to why, but the killer was revealed to be the girl who actually died that day. It was a crime of passion.
Yeah.
Um,
What was her name?
Melody. It started with an M. I'm not entirely sure.
Millie? I think it was Millie.
Millie. Something. Yeah.
It was like Millie Marl.
Something alliteration.
Millie Mar. Something, yeah.
Something
British.
alliteration.
British.
Yeah. And that one, I just thought it was cool that it tied in the previous mystery. Overall, it was like a pretty standard deal, but it introduced a sort of, I wouldn't go so far as to call it a love triangle, but Victorique is definitely like a tsundere type, and it introduced another female character / potential love interest. It's not pursued, but like potential love interest. I can't say Victorique didn't react very strongly to it though. Actually, she didn't get jealous as much as you would expect, and actually the girl just was evil, and Victorique dropped heavy books on her head, and it was an
She
awesome,
did drop
wholesome
heavy
moment.
books on her head, and then she also stated that Kazuya Kujo is hers.
Is hers. He's mine. But then she quickly clarified after that he may just be a manservant, but he's hers. But we know he's more than a manservant. Come on now.
Oh, to be more than just a manservant.
Exactly. So that was a cool episode. And then they find out that this character who is a woman, another white woman who's blonde, was actually impersonating the exchange student. It wasn't actually her. It was somebody impersonating her identity, and they were
The
the
whole time,
successor
yeah.
to an old famous
To the
thief.
King of Thieves or something? I actually kind of forgot about that.
The king. The person who she was a successor of is the reason for Cujo's name as like the Black Reaper, because that person would come in like every spring and he'd bring misfortune with him because he was a thief. And now Cujo came in spring,
yeah.
so he's like, carrying on that sort of tradition unknowingly, which is cool. That was a cool tie-in. It tied in a lot there. I appreciated it. The wellspring of wisdom.
Speaking of tying things up, I think
Ooh.
that's good for episode 4, but I'm just trying to think right now, did they ever wrap up what happened to Avril, or the fake Avril, the successor, after she got hit with the books? I think it just ends.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, wow, I think it does. I would have noticed if there were a post-credit scene. I guess it's just kind of. I don't even remember like one scene of Greville.
I don't think,
Taking her away.
arresting her, yeah. I mean, if she doesn't show up in the future, we could assume that, I guess.
It would be hilarious
'Cause
if
I don't
she
think
just.
she died.
No, there's no.
She
No,
just
she
died.
didn't die.
She died to some books.
I mean, they were pretty heavy. I think it would be fairly hilarious if she came back later, just, on the premise that, well, you guys dropped books on my head, but you didn't actually do anything to capture or detain me. So I just kind of came back.
Left.
Yeah. But it's very easy to identify in retrospect because she has a mole near her mouth. It's like that's how you differentiate the two. The true one doesn't have a mole, and the fake one, the impersonator, has a mole. So that's how you tell the difference.
Yeah.
Rufus fact. Kind of weird considering that
a
she
mole.
was something of a mole herself, impersonating somebody else and all.
Okay.
But that's just. I'm sorry. Sometimes my wellspring of wisdom, just goes off in its own directions.
Yeah. What do you think about the return of the bubbly teacher? She had more of a, not really much of a pivotal role, but she definitely was there.
She was certainly there. There's no
I don't
arguing
really
that.
know why.
She was like kind of playing wingman for Cujo a little bit, which I admire
A little.
because I'm glad she's not like just some like love and like potential love interest type of thing. I'm glad that like Victory is the love interest, and the other women are like funny and stuff. Like when she like they introduced a new little like moe trait for the teacher that she faints a lot and she's like very easily she's like faint of heart, and
Yeah.
they also introduced a banger line. I might not have lolled, but it was close to a dog poop tear moment when she said, "Don't worry, I'll take my glasses off for protection. If I can't see the ghost, it won't scare me, and I won't freak out, and I won't faint." I just thought the delivery of that was really funny, to be honest, even though I didn't do it justice there.
Really didn't do it justice.
Yeah, definitely not. But that's about what I have to say about her. Do you have any opinions on the teacher?
No. Did we talk about the bubbly teacher last episode?
We
I can't
did.
remember.
We did. We mentioned her. She made an appearance, I believe, in episode 1. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Anything else we got to say about this first little mystery, episodes 4 and 5?
I don't believe so. Definitely the more interesting stuff was backloaded onto the second one, at least in my opinion.
Pooja wraps everything up at the end,
Mm-hmm.
makes the girl blush. Ooh, that sly dog.
So sly. God,
Um,
to be like Cujo.
he loses another fight
Yeah.
to Avril.
To a girl.
Almost forgot to mention. Yeah, to a girl.
Who's slightly injured. I mean, not
Really
like notably, but
spouting all this nonsense about "I'll protect you" and all that really can't.
yeah.
Really falls a bit short, you know.
Yeah, I know. He's supposed to be like the brawn of the operation, but like as like a segue into episode 6 where he flicks her on the forehead, bro kind of acts like a little girl, you know? Like he's like really like kind of sometimes like skittish and giggly and like socially submissive, you know?
He gets flustered a lot too over the smallest things. Really, Cujo? How about we man up?
Like, yeah, how about
Seriously.
we man up? Because he's about to lose a fight, and she's armed, so it's fair. But he damn
She was
near lost
armed?
a fight. No. I'm talking about like later in this arc. He damn near lost a fight to another girl. He got saved
And
by a guy.
not to mention, got saved by a girl.
Okay, we'll get into that in a second. I
We'll
thought
get
it was a
to
guy.
that in a moment, fans. Let's get a move on to our somewhat third arc, episode 6.
Mm.
We start off with the real Avril going to school, and then he takes her on a little date, believe it or not.
I suppose.
And then we see a magic artist doing a sham, takes all his textbooks. He doesn't seem to be bothered at it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gives him a cool hat.
These are all
And
the
then
important
their
details.
Yeah, this is important. The date moves over to the nun with the plate, and she gives them the box with the dust. And then the nun fakes the plate got stolen.
A brilliant little mystery.
Yeah.
And introducing what is being set up to be a long-term antagonist in the series, and that enigmatic magician, because he's seen later in the arc as well, and he's seen prominently in the OP.
He is? He's seen later in the arc? I can't.
Yes, and the very like final, like it might have even been a post-credit scene in episode 8. It's him and Cordelia, the mom of Victorique. It's him like looking out, and he's like, "Look, your name's been cleared up, Cordelia."
Oh.
He's
Must
with
have
her.
missed that.
I thought that nun lady who took the plate, I low-key thought that was gonna be Cordelia, but
What was her point again? What did she even do?
the nun,
Yeah.
she stole a plate from herself.
Yeah.
It was really fun. I
guess-
mean, I assume she was just a vendor. It wasn't totally her store.
Yeah, no, but she goes to the island with them
Yeah, she goes to the island with them, and
for some reason.
she gives some important information. She acts as like a potential suspect as well, just to make things a little bit more interesting.
I guess.
I mean, yeah, a little bit.
But I didn't suspect her at any point.
I thought just because they had already
Yeah.
established that she has the capacity for crime. Like it was like, who knows, maybe.
Oh, maybe she'll do more.
Yeah, because like the last mystery, they did a callback to like a little mini mystery from the episode before. So like, who's to say they won't do it again? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just crazy.
Back to our
yeah.
chronology.
Yes.
Cujo brings the hat back to the library. Then we meet
this is big.
see our friend Swordbird again, and he's shocked. He's shocked. He thought that Cujo looked just like his mother, Victory's mother.
Yeah, that was like really stupid.
Well, he is really stupid.
He is really stupid, but I mean, hey.
Which is kind of funny, but like also like that's how you get the point across or the plot across. The introduction to this arc is that this boy looks a bit like my mother, my half mother.
True.
Not real mother.
It is really silly. It is pretty dang silly. But
and then she goes over to the homeland
after being flicked in the forehead.
Before being flicked in the forehead and losing
totally
all her trust in her manservant.
Yeah, which was just...
I really thought it was over. I thought it was over when that happened.
I don't understand. That was so petty.
Definitely was a misplay.
Definitely. Honestly, on both ends. Because low-key, like, as revealed, not to get too ahead of ourselves, but as revealed by, like, later plot developments, she's in the same boat as Cujo. She's a loner. She doesn't have anybody else. She doesn't have any other friends. Like, she needs this manservant. She truly does.
Yeah.
So, like, she can't be acting reckless, or she's going to get her man swooped in on by another more laid-back white woman.
All these white women.
For real.
Really pose a threat.
And I think for our young
love.
For young love in general, yeah. And I think this is the part of the show where I realized that it definitely isn't Goblin Slayer. Like, this is a different show than Goblin Slayer.
This is the part.
Like, I was like, okay, we're 100% certain now that I'm not, like, accidentally watching Goblin Slayer.
6 seconds in, we haven't seen a goblin yet.
Yeah, that's kind of what tipped me off.
Yeah.
She's like a bit of a gremlin. She's described as a gremlin. That's like goblin adjacent.
She is? She's more described as a doll, I thought.
Well, her people. The people who they go to visit are described as sort of like gremlin people at times. I know they're described as wolves.
What are you saying?
Maybe this is a sub versus dub difference.
Gremlin people. No, they were really...
This might be a sub versus
dub. I got bored.
Dub.
I just decided to watch it all in dub.
Yeah, I'm watching it in sub.
I couldn't care anymore.
I mean, I think it's a little bit more enjoyable for me in sub, but dub's cool too. I don't know why.
Okay, well... we're just podcast hosts. There's no need to be firing shots at me.
Hey man, that could be a future topic. Hey, what about TBZNMAW debates? That series would go viral.
Yo, wait, they should actually add that.
They should actually add that. I think that would be a great series. I think
it'd be worth my time.
Oh, true. Only unfortunate thing is I think the sub versus dub argument is fairly stupid because it's just like whatever you prefer, It's like you can't tell somebody else.
It's also whatever you prefer, yeah, but it's also there's definitely some that are like
they're not
horrible compared to you can't compare it to the sub. You can really only compare it to other dubs. Because if you compare it to the sub, that's in a completely different language and yeah, chances are they get like the first translation.
Yeah.
The subtitles do. And then they have to translate it again for dub.
Yeah, and they gotta like make it sound a little bit less robotic. Because even like read it, you give a little more leeway to like robotic speech patterns when you're reading them. But then once somebody's like vocalizing them, it's like you better not be talking like an idiot or it's gonna sound really, really forced.
It's like would it even be a debate, a heated topic?
Yeah,
when
contentious.
My Dress Up Darling came out.
Oh.
The dub for that used like I I used like little Gen Z terms like sus and mid,
Oh
words like
wow.
that, and people blew up over that because that wasn't in the original
Certainly not.
translation. Yeah,
I mean, how do you
but
feel
they
about the
said it in the
localized?
dub. Like, it doesn't matter. People, honestly, people need to grow up, and that's coming from me.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know if
true.
that's supposed to mean, but
You watch his dub. He's telling you to grow up.
I
Um,
dabble. I double. I double.
he
I
doubles.
dabble.
He
I
doubles.
double.
He's like a
But I do
pre-tip.
like myself a good sub. I don't mind if there's like
Ah,
no dub. It's only sub. I'll watch it.
yeah. Okay. Okay. I respect it. I respect it. I sometimes wonder if my preference for sub just comes from like a long-standing cope because of the fact that there's not always going to be a dub for the show, so I have to get comfortable with subs.
Uh,
I always wonder that.
it's not really like a turn off for me per se, but like popular shows,
Hmm.
yeah, I'll definitely. I definitely might rip a dub because they got more budget behind that.
Yeah, I get that. A lot of
Got real
times,
studios
real
voicing
studios.
real
Yeah.
real characters.
If it's
But like if
complicated.
it's
Oh, sorry. Go
no,
on.
I'm talking still. But if it's like some shitty 12 episode anime, one season anime that came out like in 2012, and there is a dub for it, I honestly don't think I'd give it a shot.
You almost just perfectly. Well, okay, Ghost not a shitty anime, but it came out in 2011, and you're watching the dub for Ghost. But I see what you mean. What's like the most before we move on
Well,
back to the
well, just
series?
say like my bar for shitty is like I look it up on Mal and it's like less than like a 6. Then yeah.
Oh, that's yeah. I don't even know why you're watching that at that point.
Oh, I've seen things you can't even understand, Rufus, my friend.
Last thing I'll say is the
This
Higurashi dub is the worst dub I've ever heard in my life.
no, don't
It's
say that.
so laughably
Don't say
terrible.
that. I'll die on the Higurashi dub hill. Bad, okay, bad,
Rena?
bad dubs where they're good
Okay, yeah.
are like like a little guilty pleasure of mine. Like it completely destroys any serious moment ever with the show,
Uh,
but like I gotta love them.
Funnily enough, it kind of mimics the really rough, kind of goofy sometimes animation style of the original Higurashi too. It has kind of a similar effect, but I never could listen to it in dub.
Little last topic here.
Yeah.
Editor, can we get Farron in dub? Little clip. Well, that clip right here.
Stole 4,822 babies. What a perfect way to whet my appetite for babies.
Okay, what did you think about that after hearing that, Rufus?
Um.
Well, you haven't heard it yet, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. Um.
Editor will hear it in post. I'll let you hear it after the show. But what do you like?
What do I think? I
Think
think.
her
Um.
voice?
Just like
I think it's the voice
infancing.
of the angels.
I think it's probably the voice of the angels as well. Um. And I think that I respect the decision to choose dub over sub in the instance of Freyrain, or however you say it. As do I in
Alright.
Gosick. Gosick, you could go either way. I'm just pretentious.
Yeah, you tend to be a lot of that.
Yeah. Well, I can.
Fun fact:
I can read
voice
that.
actor for that clip I just played. Editor, play that clip again.
Stole 4,822 babies. What a perfect way to whet my appetite for babies.
Okay. Played two characters in Goblin Slayer.
But
Mallory Rodak, I think her name is.
Valerie Rodak, eh?
Beauty of the Angels.
I'll be sure to. I'll check out her. I'll just check out her like Wikipedia after this, see if there's anything that she's in that I really
Yeah.
like. But I think we should try to circle back
Yeah,
to Ghost
maybe
a
we
little bit.
should get back on topic, Rufus.
I mean, sub
Instead
versus
of-
dub is just always a prominent topic, but
Oh, so we're going back to the
no. I'm saying so. It makes sense, but we definitely should circle back to Gosick because we're heading
Where did
in.
we leave off?
Well, we're about to
Okay.
head into.
We
the
just
town.
got to not the town yet.
Okay.
So you're missing a very important part.
The train ride.
outside the town, when we get to
Oh
the inn for
yes,
the one night stay,
a one night stay.
it's all normal. They get a room. Barkeep or innkeep tells us some lore about the wolves at night,
Mm.
all that stuff. Then Cujo hears an odd sound, some thumping and rumbling and shaking and hustling. Then he gets awoken up by the wolves howling.
Mm.
He goes to go find out what's all the hubbubaloo. Then he sees Victorique in the hallway,
Mm.
sporting a new gown we've never seen before. And he could tell that she's quite tired.
Clearly.
Yeah. And she states that there's a squirrel in her room. And she's been trying to get rid of it this whole time, making
Oh,
all this noise.
that
And
was
then
very
after she
comical.
says that, she comes to her senses, realizes that she's awake. She's not dreaming. And then gets flustered immediately.
She forgot she's not supposed to be talking to Cujo because she's pretending to be
Yep.
mad at him.
He goes back to go like, hold on a second. Classic Moe staple. She starts throwing stuff at him through the door.
That was quite comical.
She tries to pick up the chair that she brought because she's a refugee.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually forgot
He's
what
like, "What
Cujo
the
said.
heck? Why'd you
I
bring the
could rename
chair again?"
I could rename this scene uh bit by bit, but I actually don't know what Cujo says here. He says
I,
something about I'm here to protect you.
the blue outfit she dons for this arc is beautiful.
I didn't really like the little bonnet she had on. Made it look like a butter churner,
But
you know?
all right, well, some of us think that implies like a good work ethic and strong family values. But I
I saw
understand.
her, the last thing I think of is a good work ethic, but
Yeah,
okay.
she does look like a little bit of a
A
spoiled
little
brat.
Baby!
baby. Yeah,
Yeah,
a little
Baby!
baby.
yeah, I guess so.
There's one important. Oh, little for all my dub viewers out here, skip to I don't know 18 minutes on the dot. I think she starts barking orders at him and telling him to sit. Did that happen in sub?
Yes,
She told him to sit, heel, stay,
sit, heel, yeah.
and then for all my dubbers out there, the most like twinkish, most like girlish line I've ever heard a male voice actor give. Right here, he was like, "Stop calling me a puppy." That made me spit out my water and laugh for a long time.
Bro's so girly.
It was actually really funny and like unintentionally funny.
I can imagine the dub actor. Stop calling me a puppy. I can like so vividly. I'll have to watch that back.
Have you've seen a little bit of the dub, right? You
Yes.
know his whiny voice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It does get kind of annoying, really. She lore drops a bit, and they head out to the town,
Hmm.
accompanied by three dudes.
And the maid from earlier, or not the maid, the nun from earlier.
And I don't know what the dudes are doing, or what the dudes do, actually.
Well, they are visiting because yeah, I'm not exactly sure their stated reason for visiting, but I remember that the walls of this like super secluded village that's like pretty archaic, like stuck in the past, um, were opened up for like what was it, like one night a year for this like big tradition, and so they were
Well, I
letting
don't think it
people in.
was open, because the drawbridge drew down, and everyone drew their swords like they were just going to kill them all. But then
That's true.
the village elder, he was like, once a year, there's the festival. Come watch the festival. And then
Yes,
they didn't kill him because they wanted them to see the festival, I
the
guess.
festival, but they probably should have killed them in hindsight, because a lot of trouble started to pop up once old V and K hit up the scene. It was a
No,
riot.
it didn't.
What happened first?
I think I'm trying. Is that the end of episode 6?
I believe so. Yes. Yes, absolutely. That's the end of episode 6. I remember vividly now.
I know episode 7 kicks off with that maid freaking out
Yep.
over Cordelia
Yeah, she's talking about how
because the
she's
baby looked just like her.
yeah, she's such a murderer. She's so terrible. I like how I believe later in the episode, like towards the end, she like it's like a little fake out scene where Victorique walks in the room and she stabs Victorique. But then it's like is what Cordelia probably did in the moment. It was just so funny. But she is like super anti Cordelia. She is like she essentially is the ultimate op of the show thus far, of this
Yeah.
arc.
I mean, if
Everyone's
I
op.
saw the person I killed come back like 15 years after I killed them, but as a little baby,
Well, the person
I'd
you
kind of
framed.
freak out.
Yeah.
It's like, how much do you know, you little brat?
But
Seriously.
I mean seriously. It's revealed that
Seriously.
there's service, like telephone service for some reason. That's like their
This is
one
their sponsor.
yeah, their sponsor. It's like the one respect in which they aren't totally behind the times to a comical degree. Which
Who was the guy who wasn't he important? The
Who?
guy who brought the electric, wasn't it? I think it was the red-haired guy. Now I think of it.
the red hair guy? Oh, it very well may have been. I think you're right. That yeah, no, I never put 2 and 2 together. I believe it was the red hair guy. The ultimate op of the show, maybe.
Maybe.
God, he already makes me angry. He kind of looks like a ReZero character. I don't know if you know what I mean. If you don't know, you don't know.
I do know actually, and yeah, I could agree.
A series of murders took place after Victorique and Cujo showed up, as seems
did
to
they?
happen. And the first of which was trying to
Was it
stall
one
for
of the
time?
dudes?
Yes, it was one of the dudes. What?
It was in the fire,
Was that the first?
right? Was it? Oh, crap.
Feel like there was one right before that, but
All I can remember is the nun unveiling her true form, and me thinking that she's kind of beautiful.
she was very beautiful, frankly.
With her big silly afro.
Yeah, I liked.
I think it was the fire.
Yeah, the fire was the first one. Yes,
Yeah.
right.
So
and they were throwing
normal
chestnuts.
festival shenanigans,
Mm-hmm.
full of pure blood Aryan white woman race, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They have the the three little background. The 3 dudes causing a ruckus, man. Like they're
Total dicks.
treating this place like their own place, like their own little house. Not respecting any rules, not respecting any of their culture.
Mhm.
Unbelievable. Really? Come on, man. What the
Mhm.
hell?
What the hell?
Then we get to the real festival where they start throwing nuts around,
Which will be important later.
which will, yeah. They start the fire part where they burn a thing.
It's ceremonial.
guess.
It's to represent like how they defeated their enemy in the war so long ago. You know, so they burned like a
Yeah.
little sculpture of or a little like sort of voodoo-like
Shrine,
figure
I don't know.
of
Yeah,
the
but
enemy.
Someone snuck one of those 3 bastards that were mentioned inside with a mask and all.
And
so then he burned to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And white women
And that's
Co.
when we started to
couldn't save
think.
him.
Yeah, they couldn't say him. They're starting to think things are getting crazy. Yeah. Who was that other
The other death.
white guy? No,
Oh.
the white guy that kind of followed him those 2 around.
Oh, I don't remember his name. But
Hit the
he had long hair.
ponytail.
Yeah, and he made a comment. He like grabbed Cujo's face and he's like, "Wow, you guys really do look dead. I didn't know other people, or I knew other people didn't have blonde hair, but wow, I didn't know that they would look like this. This is just so different. Everything's so different." Yeah.
He's like, "Can I keep touching him?"
Yeah.
He asked Mystery.
Yeah, and then he asks it. Another moment of just Cujo being a total little girl and having to defer to his mother, essentially. She's like, "It doesn't bother me. but you may stop now. Something like that. I don't remember what it was in the sub.
Shit, we gotta remember it. We gotta remember this kid's name, or else it's over.
It might be over. Let me do a quick scan of the brain.
I just remembered one of the names of the three guys. It was Raul.
Raul. Ah, yes.
Yeah, but I can't remember that damn guy's name.
I can't.
Maybe he just doesn't have a name.
I don't.
Let's give him a name.
All right. All right. What would be
Peter.
a good name?
Peter. We'll give him Peter.
Peter Chan.
Peter
like
Chan.
that. So Peter Chan, did some.
I was gonna go into this. Oh yeah, Peter Chan. He's the one who knocks the shrine down.
Yes.
He shows that he's kind of on their side. Then he takes him to the chapel, right, to get his mind read by the old guy. A 10 out of 10 keck moment here. He's like, "Will me and Victorique die together
as friends?" And he was really making sure to specify, like,
yeah,
are we
and
gonna
the
live
old guy
together?
was like, what did he say? He's like, "A very strong wind's coming. You guys will die," or something
it
like
will
that.
tear you limb for limb to shreds, and
Yeah,
you'll
something
die.
like that.
You'll die ripped apart from each other, but your souls are connected.
Really?
But they're friends. They're just friends.
Yeah.
And that was actually based on how true his other prediction came. His other prediction, which is revealed later. That probably actually holds some validity to it. We can expect to see that at least almost happen later. I think that's definitely going to happen.
Where they both die.
Where they both almost die.
They all die.
Gosh, I really hope not, guys.
Guys, if they die, it's over. Podcast over.
Podcast
If they
over.
both die, podcast over.
This isn't Ungo. Does anyone die?
No one dies in Ungo.
Oh, okay. Well, spoilers.
I think.
Jesus.
I don't think anyone dies in Ungo. That's like, I think that was one of my little critiques, that no one really died
That is.
in that show.
I'm not gonna roast you right now. We'll save it for debate. For TBZNMAW debates.
Whatever.
But I think that's ridiculous. But let's just move on with the
Post-chapel
episode.
scene, he asked, "What did you wish for, Victory?"
She was
She was
crying.
like, "Am I gonna stay like this forever?"
And
I
then
thought it was pretty funny.
it was. She's
You're
like,
destined to be a tiny baby for the rest of your life.
I'm too short. And it was like, oh, bro, come on. We thought you were talking about you would have died. And then it turns out that was what she asked. She was actually asking the same thing where it's like, me and Cujo, we're such good friends, you see. Like, I want to die together with him in his arms. Because we're such good, our friendship is that strong. And
I do like a
Told
good
her the
old
same
friendship. I think that's the end of... Oh, no, wait. No, it's not.
because then the other guy died.
They're still outside the chapel, yeah. And then they hear the wolves, and the old guy runs out with the shotgun to go shoot the wolves.
Mm-hmm. Presumably accidentally shoots a guy.
Yeah, but he's like, "No, I know I shot a wolf."
I'm
And that kind of plays into the mystery part. Did this guy shoot the wolf, or did he shoot the guy?
Turns out he did
What the
shoot the
hell?
wolf.
I think it was Raul who died, too.
It was.
Ugh.
God damn it.
God, why'd it have to be Raul?
Always killing my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Dang you, Gosick. Always killing my favorite, very prominent, important characters who definitely have personalities that exist.
I think that's the end of the 7th episode, right?
Yes, the only other detail I'd add is it was revealed that the boys were messing with the urn. They were messing with the urn. Like the ceremonial urn in there.
The ceremonial urn that's very important.
Raul and I think his name was Vince and the gang or something. They were just being total like douchebags, really, just like totally taking a big old crippity crap all over this culture.
Oh yeah,
this proud culture. So
this culture, all the culture.
But yeah, that is about the end of episode 7, which brings us to our last episode of this segment.
Already?
Already?
Things were just getting started.
I know. Well, we can do some more. We could wrap it up with some more like holistic things about the show so far. I think I at least have a couple things to say for sure.
I mean, yeah, but man, Ghost 6 just so immersive.
So
It's
immersive.
just such an immersive online experience.
It really is.
Is there any other immersive online experiences you could think of to bide the time?
Hmm.
Oh,
Well,
that reminds me. Our sponsor for today's episode,
Raid
Raid
Shadow
Shadow
Legends.
Legends. Raid Shadow Legends is an immersive online experience with everything you'd expect from a brand new RPG title. Well, it's got an amazing storyline, almost as good as Ghost 6, awesome 3D graphics, almost as good as Ghost 6, giant boss fights, almost as good as Ghost 6, PvP battles, not as good as Ghost 6, but hundreds of never before seen champions to collect and customize. I mean, I've never expected to get this much level up in performance of like a mobile game because all I do is play Battle Cats and Hearthstone. But like the level of detail on all these champions, amazing. And I can't believe this is all playing on my little tiny phone. And hey, guys, I'm gonna be real with you. This game is getting big and it's getting big fast. So you should definitely get in early. Starting now, we'll give you a huge head start. And there's also an upcoming special launch tournament with crazy prizes. I know, yeah. Not to mention, this game is free. How many games have this much value and are free? I can't even name one. Nope, still can't name one. So go ahead, guys. Seriously. Go ahead, check out the video description, and learn more about Raid Shadow Legends. There you can find a link to the store page and a special code to unlock a bunch of goodies. Using the special code, let's see, you can get 50,000 silver immediately, a free epic level champion as part of the new players program, courtesy of Raid Shadow Legends devs, and just so much more. So seriously, guys, give it a shot. It's one of the biggest mobile role-playing games since 2019, and like I said before, it's totally free with almost 10 million concurrent players. So seriously, guys, give it a shot. TBZ, signing out.
And surely we are two of those 10 million concurrent players. I haven't been able to put down the game in a long time. So I'm really glad we were able to get sponsored. You think they could,
I'm actually playing it right now. So
you think you can maybe get them to like talk to me, like get like I could get sponsored a little bit? Or...
Oh, you're adorable, buddy.
No, it's fine.
Keep those dreams dreaming.
I won't give up yet.
Yeah, that's a good trait to have. Tenacity, love it.
Back to the episode.
Back to episode 8. I don't think I could tell you how this one starts off, to be honest.
Well, the episode starts off, at least vaguely speaking, with a trial sort of being held for the murder of these two people, pretty much.
And was it the Erd?
Yeah. And Victorique is confident. She's like, oh, I know who did it. But she decides to not tell Cujo nor the viewer to give them a chance to figure it out, which... Listen, I'll be honest. The murderer is revealed, like, honestly towards the beginning of this episode. Not quite at the very beginning, but I didn't like this mystery. I didn't think it was feasible to solve, you know? Like, I felt BS'd by the end a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, I guess.
A secret compartment?
Especially how they dealt with the last guy. I thought that was actually kind of funny.
Oh, yeah. Even, the one with just the guys getting murdered, yeah. I was thinking about the next mystery, but I forgot.
Oh. Yeah.
Yes. It was simply their accomplice. It was It was not Raul, it was Vince.
I don't think it was Vince.
It was one of them.
Well, no, I don't think Vince is just...
Wasn't his name Alan?
Alan?
There
Alan.
it is.
Alan. I think the last one was like Drake or something.
Whatever.
Derek, I think.
Derek, Raul, and Alan.
But actually, wait, no. Oh, wait. He doesn't die. No, he gets sent to jail because Swordbert was there.
Yeah, it turns out Swordbert was following them the whole time. Also, in light of just making the main character seem like a little bit more of a little girl, Victorique acts like super secure and protected, like she feels so good that he's protecting her, and then it's revealed that the only reason she actually felt that way is because the nun was protecting her, and Swordbert was there the whole time, and like that's the only reason she was actually confident.
Just stroke that little ego of our little puppy there.
He's not a puppy!
Stop calling me a puppy.
Yeah, so there was that. It was funny.
Yeah. Derek, Drake, whatever, gets incarcerated. And then...
swiftly move on to the
fire
next mystery.
Breaks out. Oh my god. And this is where I think this is what I'm going to use my little, my insanely long stretch that I'll let it slide pass,
Okay.
that we get per mystery. I think I'm going to use it here. It kind of sounds like you're not agreeing with me.
Well, I'm skeptical.
Do you not agree
But
how
go
this
on.
went down?
This is the one that I was referring to just a few minutes ago, when I was saying I felt a little bit cheated. I felt like it wasn't the way that they set it up. It wasn't something that could have been solved beforehand, no matter what. I think it was very, very.
What are you referring to?
I'm referring to the fact that not only did they make a particular deal out of the fact that, a young woman wouldn't be able to so firmly place the dagger into the back of the victim, which was just explained away in an absolutely ridiculous way. Like, they should not have made a big deal of that for the way it
We're
actually
talking
turned out.
about this. Okay, Rufus.
What do
You're
you-
wrong.
Oh,
I think
okay.
you're just wrong, dude.
And also there's a secret compartment that nobody knows about in the clock, which was, and that's two stretches.
I thought, like, was there a secret compartment, or was she just inside the clock?
She was just inside the clock, I guess, actually.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know was possible, so I was very ornery about it.
I think it was like. I think that one kind of made sense a little bit.
Well, I
She
think,
waited. She waited to kill him. She threw threw the coins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she threw the coins. That was the coins were silly, but I get it. I feel like if coins just like you were alone in a room and then a bunch of coins just flew at you, you wouldn't just go to pick up the coins. You'd probably inspect.
Her reasoning was that the elder was fascinated by shiny things. Absolutely gobsmacked when he saw coins fly to the clock.
Definitely, certainly maybe one too many stretches, in my opinion. And the stretches in former mysteries were not something that happened that were like essential to like solving it. They were mostly like extra little like, oh, by the way, the killer was somebody with blonde hair. Like, I understand a stretch there. I think it's fine, but like when it's integral to like actually like having a fair shot at solving the mystery, it did kind of bother me a little bit, and I hope that was like a one-time thing.
Like I said before, I don't think there was any stretch on where you're saying. I didn't really see any stretch.
I don't.
I think it was kind of just straightforward and like, yeah, cool mystery.
I think you.
I'm using my stretch pass. A little stretch pass. You must have forgotten, I think. When the fire first came out, or the very end of the festival, when they had what the maid thought to be the guy, I think he like all like full in like the suit and the mask. He walks up to her and then starts saying absolute gibberish, and she falls to her knees. Then he takes off the mask. Turns out it's Cujo, and he just straight up says, "That was native tongue from my homeland, Japan."
And she just confused it for thinking he was clearly.
She thought. Who'd she think it was?
The soul of the headsman that she had killed so many years prior.
Yeah, because she's never heard Japanese before. What was it like in sub? I like to know. Do you know what he said?
No, it wasn't translated.
Really? Was it just like complete like nothing? Like
it sounded like something. It sounded like something just in a big voice.
It sounded like just like complete gibberish for all my dubbers out there.
That's really
so
funny.
Well,
I think they probably used...
It wasn't that funny because at first he was just chanting nothings in her ear, and I guess that surprised her. But then when he took off the mask, he said, "Oh, that was just Japanese."
Like he didn't even know what he was doing.
Yeah.
He just went up there and started speaking Japanese by chance. That was really silly.
Yeah, and then she just completely confesses in front of everyone.
Like, fine, I did it. And it turns out...
And Cujo's like, "Wow, that was easier than I thought, Victory."
Okay, this seriously was the goofiest mystery so far.
Yeah, that's my huge stretch.
Okay. I think there were at least a couple of small stretches as well.
Can we just cut this part? Rufus, I think it's over. Rufus,
You-
I think this podcast isn't worth my time.
No! I'm sorry. I'm
All right,
sorry.
I said it, folks. Was that the second one of the night?
The second isn't worth your time.
What
And
do
if
you
you
guys
don't
think?
get that,
In the comments down below, is this anime worth your time?
is this anime worth your time? Certainly, Ghost 6 worth our time.
Definitely.
As we enter into the final act of this final episode, in which Cujo gets bitched one last time by a woman while they're making the great escape, because once she gets called out, the Peter-chan.
Yeah, the
Peter-chan.
elder decides to make Peter-chan kill her, and he's apparently been laboring this insane love towards her, never before seen until now, to kill her.
Another
Which
example.
also, now that I said it out loud, yeah, that is kind of another stretch there.
Great
Go
writing.
Sick. What are we doing?
That's silly, man.
Yeah, she escapes and starts a fire, and I remember this vividly. She starts a fire in 4 corners of the whole city
Yes.
somehow, even though she's been escaped for 5 minutes at most.
Not even. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she also makes it to the bridge and starts burning that down. And oh man, is it just crazy? Everything's on fire. Chaos ensues.
Mm-hmm.
Cujo decides he tries to be useful.
And
I
human
thought
shield
it was cool when
victory.
he stands up to human shield victory. All just for him to get just nothing. Goes in to attack her and she just puts him on the ground. As Cujo cannot beat. Cujo had more battle prowess when it was against men. Go back to the 3rd episode where he fucking dusted that killer.
Yeah,
Excuse my French, but he absolutely demolished him, and then he just fell off from there. He's been progressively getting weaker.
that he has a thing for European women, and that's distracting him.
Is it really though?
Clearly, I mean that's the only. I mean, this show's writing
Do you
is
think
airtight.
Do you think he?
As a quick
Do you think
aside,
he liked getting choked by Avril, fake Avril,
probably,
and then getting pushed down the stairs?
Oh, I'm starting to think that maybe Victory kind of ruined it.
With
Damn.
what? Those stairs?
Those heavy books.
Oh, those heavy books.
He's mine. Let's get to this last scene.
Fire's all breaking out. Cujo's still in the ground like a little sissy. Peter-chan actually comes in, be the man that he is, step up, take the spear away from what's her name? What's the maid's name? I don't want to keep calling her the maid.
I don't remember what
Is that okay with you?
is. I'm okay with calling her the maid, honestly, because she's about to not be a relevant character anymore. We only have to call her the maid twice more.
We're just gonna. So she's gonna be known as the maid forever. Even when she dies. That's.
She dies? Okay.
Does she die?
No, yeah, she
Oh
does.
shit.
She does.
Okay, good. Well, I mean, that's not good. Sorry.
Dude,
I'm
Guys,
sorry.
this is just going
Oh
off
my
the
God.
rails.
His name's Ambrose.
Ambrose. I should remember because it's the name of that guy from Bob's Burgers, the librarian.
It is.
Mr. Ambrose.
This is worse than the time we were at Bob's Burgers.
this is worse. This is worse than the time Victorique ironically had to save Cujo in the end,
Oh yeah.
physically speaking. And it was, okay, call me crazy, I think it was another stretch here that Cujo died. He didn't die. He passed out, fainted from the fumes of the smoke in the fire as he was walking off the bridge. And then he passed out. Victory caught him with one hand, like that classic movie trope of she's on land and he's about to fall into a pit, and she grabs him with one hand, despite the fact she probably weighs 40 less pounds than him, 30 less
She
pounds.
probably weighs 32 pounds.
Yeah,
Like I've carried groceries heavier than her.
exactly. And it's just, that was a little weird, a little silly, but it was also a little wholesome, a little thrilling.
Yeah,
That's when I knew it was. This is truly, truly, this is, and I mean, this isn't a knock, but this truly is a tsundere romance story.
it's not like I wanted to save you or anything.
Yeah, sort of like that. And the whole tsundere thing, I know it rubs a lot of people the wrong way. Maybe I just haven't seen enough anime to where the cliches like get to me, but I don't I don't totally hate it that much. The only thing that's a little annoying about it is if it's transparent that it's a tsundere, you sort of know what's going to happen eventually, and so this initial farce is sort of kind of like eye rolly to get past. But I wonder because a lot of times the lack of progression in a relationship in this kind of story I think would bother me. But because of the fact that we're in like a mystery story here and there's mysteries all the time, I don't feel too
Yeah.
bothered by that aspect of the romance taking being a bit more of a slow burn. I think maybe the satisfying payoff later could be worth it. What do you think?
I mean, I do like that they're kind of taking it slow,
Okay.
and how we're only on episode 8, and all we've done right now is getting flustered. But we've seen like how many little tropes and cliches? I think like we're at 3 right now. We're getting there.
We're getting there. Certainly.
Like usually, like from the seasonal shows I watch, like you got like all that relationship wise,
Mm-hmm.
since they're purely focused on it. Like they get to where we are in like one episode.
Mm.
They could,
Interesting. Interesting. I
and also
respect
to
it.
point on that moe trope. Uh,
Moe.
moe.
Gross.
Nah, I think I'm fine with it. I've definitely watched more than you
Mm.
would have figured,
Of
and I
tsundere
don't think I'm
shows,
really
yeah.
bothered by cliches that much.
Mm. Yeah.
I
Okay.
kind of enjoy counting them down to my big old bingo card.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, people love anime for a reason, you know. It's like we love the things we love for a reason, you know. Maybe the way things are is a good thing.
Oh no, I don't love the cliches. Don't get that
Oh,
wrong.
okay, sorry.
I think they're just
It's
I
not
think
like
they're
you love them
fine.
or anything. Okay.
It's not like I love them or anything. No.
Okay, okay. Well, I get that. I think it's ironic. Okay, not to shoehorn in the best series of all time, but there's a quote in Umineko that I'm about to butcher about how like okay,
Okay.
the greatest
I'll be
mystery,
right
the
back.
greatest mystery you can solve is trying to. I don't remember the quote at all, but it's to the effect of the greatest mystery to solve is trying to truly learn, like the emotional ins and outs of like how to best serve your partner. You know, it's like that's the mystery that never ends in life. You keep trying to get to know them further, further and further, and I guess maybe that's kind of true for this show. Maybe that's the beauty of it a little bit.
One last thing to put off, little dub mention again. Gotta give credit where credit's due. Afia, you really carried this show at this part where
Who?
she started yelling at. Oh, sorry for all my. I guess I could call you a normie. That's the English voice actor for Victorique.
Okay.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, I think she's also the voice actor for Rika Higurashi in the 2021 version.
Hmm. Yeah. What are your final thoughts? You go first.
Why I always have to go first?
I'll go first.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
Kidding. I think this was a good plot. I think this actually might be my favorite one so far.
Mm.
We learn. What was that? What was that? I said a
I was
little.
sampling outro music. Don't worry about it.
Okay. All right. I think this one. I mean, might sound a little degen or beta here, but I honestly, for the long run, I really don't. It's gonna sound weird that I've we're on episode 2 of the podcast, right? I really don't care for the mystery aspect that much.
Yeah.
I'm more here for the romance ride.
Okay.
Is all I really do main romance.
Okay. I
Just saying.
I feel
And
similarly.
the mystery is a good like little thing to bide my time. Like I don't hate it. Like I love just watching it. Like all these mysteries unfold. But the big romance
Mm-hmm.
monuments, flags, waypoints, marks on the trail that we cross, I think they really do it. I think they nail it on the head when it comes to it. Comes to Cujo's, unfortunately, Cujo's and Victor's dynamic. They really play well off against each other, I feel like. Even if one of them is doing something horrible to the other, they always bounce back.
Yep. I totally agree. And yeah, and he gave her a little. It looked like a little piece of dog poo, and I think I
Editor,
feel.
show a picture of the dog poop in case any viewers are curious right now.
All right. But other than that, I also really appreciate the aesthetic of the show. I don't want the aesthetic of the show to go unnoticed.
Oh yeah,
I
of
really
course.
appreciate that little aspect. That honestly, the mystery is almost just like a part of the aesthetic. I like Victor Eek's little like quaint little
Yeah.
pipe. Peak.
Yeah, the
Peak.
pipe that lets you. Oh God, what's the thing she says?
Wellspring of wisdom.
Her wellspring of wisdom, her reconstruction of the fragments of chaos.
Yes. Yes. Well, that's about all the thoughts I have for this segment of Gosick. And
Editor,
editor,
I'm kidding.
editor, cue the outro
Just wanted,
music.
I just wanted to point out one last thing
Okay.
before we cue this outro music.
It is okay.
Guys, seriously, go check out Raid Shadow Legends in the description. And that's all from me. Have a good night, everyone. Don't forget to stay safe. Don't forget to watch your favorite YouTubers. Don't forget to ask the age-old question: is hell anime worth your time? Not just this one, you know.